make the strings louder.
What grade of sandpaper do you want?
150 or 180, whatever.
Okay.
You got.
Yeah, I think I have this is a bunch of 150.
Cool, that'll work.
I think I bought a new thing, or this is 180 right there too. So, all right, guys. Well, today is sand and engine bay day. Finally, it's been a while since I've actually worked on this thing, but like I said, it just basically hasn't been the 100% priority. I knew that I was getting these things over here that were going to be parts cars, and so yeah, I do need to start working on that back hatch though. That might be a project for later tonight. And then I'm not sure what hood I want to use. After seeing this hood on this thing, I'm not sure if I like it, so I might just try to put this hood on there to make sure that it's, you know, gonna line up and flex just right, and then probably just use an OEM hood. Yeah, so Brandon's over here. He's gonna be kind of blocking out the engine bay. I just hit it with some guide coat just so we could see all like the sand scratches, little imperfections and stuff. So I'm gonna yank off the fenders. So this is one of the things that I have been kind of putting off for a little while, which is basically working on this rear hatch. It's in pretty good condition other than just the smidge of surface rust on it, but I was basically just waiting to end up finding a glass or another complete rear hatch. And I thought I was going to end up finding a complete rear hatch instead of just fixing that one. So I was lucky to get this this parts car over here. So it has a good glass in the back, but since it's so wrecked on the other side, I can't use the hatch. I mean, I probably could if I really wanted to tweak a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so the glass is good, so I'll just end up pulling out the glass and then putting the spoiler on that one. And see the fiberglass is all messed up on here. But yeah, so I think that's probably going to be today's agenda. Brandon already did a little bit of the engine bay the other night, but I'm going to have this sandblasted just to take off that little layer right there, and yeah, so that shouldn't be too bad. Hi guys, so got all the Supras arranged in here kind of halfway. Got the fan blowing over there because it's still kind of hot even though it's like nighttime. But yeah, so what I have to do since I got this thing sandblasted, I need to, if you didn't see that and it was in the Datsun video, I might throw a little clip of like a before and after for you guys who don't watch the other videos and only stick around with the Supras. But anyhow, I got some 80 grit paper on basically the buffer, and I'm just gonna strip the rest of the paint off this hatch. You can see it had some previously done body filler, and since it's been sitting out in the weather, I know that stuff's bad. It has, you know, moisture and stuff underneath it. So I'm basically gonna strip it all the way down to bare metal it again. I'm gonna go ahead and delete the rear sprayer, since the rear wiper's already been deleted as well. And I'm just not gonna use that. So I need to finish welding that up, and then I'm gonna put maybe a little plate or something we can get underneath there. I might just have to like weld that all shut, but and then just grind it down, and then I could start doing body filler on here. Brandon's supposed to be coming over in the morning and knock out a couple hours of blocking the outside of this thing. And then after that, I think I'll probably be on my own with it. But yeah, so I'm gonna start doing this stuff tonight. kind of bummed about the outcome of this thing. Did 80 grit around most of it because I didn't want to scratch it up too bad. And then coming down here, this has already been kind of hit with this. This is a 40 grit. And the reason this is so clean right there is because that actually had some body filler on it. But I was assuming that everything underneath the paint wouldn't be rusty, and just kind of the exposed metal, and that's what I had him sandblast, was that. So I'm not sure exactly. Well, I'm not gonna continue sanding this because it's not like bringing all that off without taking off like a shitload of metal. Because the sandblasting, it kind of gets down in like the little pores of this stuff. If you could see that right there, it's just kind of, I mean, I could sit there and sand on it, and then it kind of gets to about that level right there. But I just want to make sure that it's all good, and I don't have any issues with rust later on down the road. You know, leaving rusty stuff like this even under the stuff, it would probably be okay for, you know, a couple of years, and then randomly it would pop up. Something stupid would happen. It would get some moisture in the right spot, or you'd get a nick, and then it'd be like, oh no. But so yeah, I'm not sure if we'll be able to get this thing tackled until Monday-ish. But yeah, we should be able to get the rest of the car blocked out, hopefully. But the plan was I wanted to get the car blocked out and then get it in primer again, and then have this thing all done and get it epoxied and then primed it, you know, all pretty much by like Monday-ish. But it's I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, so it's the next morning. Brandon's over here helping me sand this thing. Got the whole car kind of guide coated, and just kind of gonna go around it and finish blocking it all out. So I was just sanding. Brandon had to take off. So he had to run back up to his other thing. But I was glad he was able to come over here and help me out for a couple hours and kind of block the body of this thing. So he got it down to, or he blocked it in 80 grit. And I'm kind of finishing it off with 150 and then 180 on this thing. So I hit it with 150 on this guy, and then I hit it with a 180 on this one. And this is kind of a flexible foam block, so it kind of goes around the curves and stuff. Sanding is, I don't know, as you guys know, you know, part 1000, you know, paint and body work of sanding this thing and putting it back in primer. So the plan is I need to prime it again and then sand it again. But so why it's taking so long is just there's so many like steps and stages that you have to do, because we were aggressive with the body work with the 36 grit to get it flat and straight to actually get it shaped. You know, it shouldn't have taken this long. I've taken, you know, time off to do other stuff, but I've kind of I like letting the primer sit anyhow. But so anyhow, I had to hit it with 80 grit to kind of block it out again, and then hit it with 150 to kind of knock down them 80 grit scratches, and then the 180 or whatever to kind of knock down the 150 scratches, which that's not 100% necessary. But then we'll high build prime it again, let it sit for a little while, and then basically wet sand it with like 400 grit, and then go ahead and it should be time to paint. I do have to do like the rear bumper, the hatch. of figure out what I'm doing with this rear spoiler over here, because this has a big O, you know, it's all floppy and shit. So I think I'm actually going to try to save this one. So I might be fiberglassing that before the end of this video, but I'm not sure. So this other side, the front fender's 150. The roof is all 150'd. I need to go around the kind of the bottoms and the curves and stuff with the foam block with the 150, and then, you know, block the rest of this out with the 150, and then kind of hit it, like knock it down a little bit more with the 180. But yeah, that's a lot of sanding. You can tell I'm all dusty, and then my hands are clean though. Alright, so we're back at the shop later during the day after it got all hot, and then we went. What did we do today?
What did we do today? I don't remember.
We went and ate a breakfast burrito, and then we went to Walmart. Then we were going to come back here, and I was like, no, it's too hot to do this, because I don't know, did we already have this by then?
No, because then we went to my house.
We went to her parents' house to get this thing because her cousin gave it to her. So this is a baby changing table, and Jamie's painting it with some chalk paint, and she's gonna make it look like it's from like 1920 and survived like 30,000 baby like diaper changes. She's gonna make it look all distressed. Yeah, anyhow, she's doing that. I'm letting the battery on this thing charge because sometimes it doesn't like to charge. But I'm getting ready to primer this thing after she's kind of figured out what she's doing with that. I'm going to tell her to go home and get away from the paint fumes. But yeah, let the battery charge up on this so I can get it out of here. The Optima that I robbed out of that BMW is actually holding up really good in the Datsun. I just disconnect it, but I got to pull it out as well. I got Mr. Stinky. Just like if you guys were to come into the shop and you would smell like this weird, I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of like musty, moldy, like a weird, I don't know. When I first got this one, the whole shop smelled like shit. And then when I got this one, the whole shop smells like shit. It's not bad, but like when you first come in here and the doors are been closed, I let it air out and, you know, turn on the fan. But it definitely stinks. There's something going on in there, so I need to actually start stripping that and get to cleaning it. But yeah, so after she's kind of done with this and I get everything figured out, I'm gonna go ahead and finish priming this thing again. so just got it all sprayed. I ended up using a little bit more primer than I thought I was going to, and so I basically ran out. So I didn't get, I wanted to do like 3 good coats on it, and I only got about 2. The first coat went on pretty thin, and then the second coat I thickened it up a little bit. So the plan with this is to wet sand this coat, and then basically after that it should be ready to paint. If I don't find any other imperfections or, you know, too many sand scratches or anything. Basically right now the body is, I mean, it's pretty damn close to being almost perfect. I mean, I don't think you could ever really get something absolutely 100% flawless. But looking down at when it was wet, it looked really, really good. So yeah, pretty much right now we're just chasing sand scratches. Trying to get the sand scratches out of it. I don't know if you could see, there's like a really, yeah, see that? So those are some of the sand scratches on the roof. And then basically I'll hit it with the guide coat, and then I'll be able to knock all that down. I'm gonna let this sit for a couple days before I start sanding on it. But yeah, so I do need to get some more primer and some other guide coat and some other supplies from D&S. I need to start sand the back bumper, get that thing primed. Need to have this thing sandblasted tomorrow, and so that I could start doing body work and stuff on it. And then I'm also going to start messing with that rear hatch and trying to refiberglass it back, not the hatch, the spoiler, refiberglass it back together. That's pretty much gonna be it for this. So thank you guys for watching. Sorry that, you know, this is pretty much round 3 of primer, but it should be the last time. You know, like I said, if everything goes smooth, I still have to do primer on other things and other pieces of the car. It seemed like everybody really liked the solid non-vented hood that's on the other one. So yeah, just stay tuned for the next video.